Hi,
Hi,
tell me your name.
my name is Ambrose Orth. I am coming into my sophomore year here at ODU.
And you're already doing research?
Yes, I am.
How did you find this opportunity?
Dr. Grau, who is the professor I research under, I did Intro to Quantum Computing, and he was my professor. He's very willing to take people who don't know as much, but are very willing to learn. That's kind of how I got offered to do this.
You mentioned earlier you work kind of independently. How does your faculty sponsor help you along this?
For the most part, my research is supposed to be independent. He is basically like a mentor or advisor for what I do. He's not really supposed to tell me exactly how to do something, because at the end of the day, it is my independent research based off of the grant that I got, but I get guidance here and there when I need it. At the start of the semester, when I joined his class, he told all of his students in his class, if you guys want to do research opportunities, I'm looking for people. I want to go into research. Whether or not I was super passionate about whatever is being researched, I'm like, okay, this is a really big, important opportunity that you can have just by working really hard.
Yeah, insane odds that you were just in that class when you announced it. A lot of people don't actually know that research opportunities exist for undergrad students. In general, they assume that research is reserved for graduate students or professors. What do you have to say about that?
That makes me really sad to hear, because if you want to pursue research in the future and you want to get into grad school, you need to have research experience as soon as you can get it. Me having this experience over the summer means that I could have a much higher chance of getting an REU. It's a research experience for undergraduates. So usually they're over the summer and they're at a neighboring university. So it could be anywhere across the country, and a lot of undergraduate students will apply for these. But if you already have research experience, you're going to have a higher chance of getting it.
How much have you learned from this experience?
Oh my God. Okay. I have learned so much already. I've only been researching a little less than a month, I'd say. And I've already learned so much. There's so much that you don't know. And honestly, it feels almost like an attack of wow, I know nothing. Because you're around all these people all the time who know way more than you. And it's so exciting, but it's also so scary. I'm like, wow, I am so stupid. But I'm like, wow, all these people are willing to help me and they know so much that I don't. And that's super
great.
exciting.
You never want to be the smartest person in the room, because that's how you're going to plateau. Anything specifically that you had no idea about?
A lot of stuff that I do now, I had no idea about. If you asked me at the beginning of spring semester when I had to start writing my project proposal, if I knew what a pulse generator was or how to describe it to you, I could not tell you. And that's the entire premise of my.
It's the whole thing.
The only thing that I haven't learned is maybe some coding aspects. Everything else is completely new to me.
How easy has it been to get this knowledge, and what kind of resources are you using to help you learn?
They can be hard at times, but if you know where to look, it's not difficult. I spend a lot of time going through manuals for a lot of the tools that I use. You want to be able to have a manual for that, but a lot of them you can't find in the labs. You have to hunt them. You have to look for them online, and it can be difficult.
Thank the Lord for the internet.
Yeah. I use the Wayback Machine a lot. It's
I don't even know what it is.
It basically it's an internet archive where you can go to points of the internet from 10, 20
sites that don't exist anymore?
Sites.
Are you saying that I can go back and watch the iCarly website? We're gonna have to stop this interview.
But yeah, it can be very difficult at times, but if you know where to kind of look, it's not hard. I also use a lot of language references and libraries for my coding, because most of what I do is coding. And even when you're at the end of it, you still feel like you're looking up at this insane mountain of information that you don't know. And the more you know, the less you know.
Everything you learn opens new questions.
Exactly.
The whole infinite loop of research is really fascinating. Basically, we'll never know it all.
Exactly.
That's got to be intimidating. What kind of steps did you have to take to get where you are right now? From when you heard about the opportunity to being in the seat doing research, what was?
So my biggest thing is being very respectful to every professor that you have, because you never know the opportunity you can get.
Yeah, they're not just professors, they're also colleagues if you think of it.
Exactly. So obviously, first of all, you just shouldn't be mean to people. But second of all, you never know what chances you can get, because they see your dedication and your respect for it. And that was a big thing for me, because when you show a professor that you have that dedication already from just being in their class, that makes them more willing to want to work with you. So after that semester ended, I had a meeting with Dr. Grau about it. So I basically emailed him and I was like, because at this point it was near the end of fall semester, and I said, hey, like, can I do some research with you? I really want to get started like on my path of research. And from there we had a meeting and we talked about possible grant opportunities, possible projects that I could do. And then from there we started picking a grant that would be best for me to apply to. So that was writing a project proposal, which sets up kind of what the research is going to be. And I ended up getting it, which is really great. I never want to look at that project proposal again. Never want to look at it again. I spent way too many hours looking at it.
I think I remember you like up at 4 a.m. in the group chat being like,
yeah, like I felt like I was like clawing my way out. Obviously, it was a great foundation because it forced me to have to look into what everything is and be able to explain it to someone else and provide evidence and figures for that, which is such a crucial step in research. Because if I ever needed to like understand something, I can look back at that and reference that. I'm like, if I'm maybe losing track of what I need to do, I can look at my project proposal and think like, okay, this is where I go from here. Because you have to have it layered out in like such a, not like insanely detailed structured way, but have like a general idea.
What were the woes of the grant journey?
Obviously just not knowing if you're even gonna get it. It's like you put in so much work into it. I spent probably about a month or two making this paper, staring at this paper, writing and rewriting, writing and rewriting, correcting so many things, having it nitpicked to such a fine level. Because, you know, if you're applying to a competitive grant for a good amount of money, you know, like there are gonna be people applying, and you can't just submit something that's like isn't clear and doesn't show that you have like dedication and even know what you're talking about. You have to really have a solid foundation of what you know.
You gotta put your best foot forward.
Exactly. If you don't, the people reviewing it are gonna be like, okay, why would I want to give this person the grant?
Say bye to your money.
And I think it's kind of a thing of like, if I spent 2 months on trying to get that grant and then I just didn't get it, that was a very big worry that I had, you know, because you just don't know.
What would you have done if you didn't get the grant?
I would have done the research anyways. At the end of the day, as much as I would love to have money to live with, as much as I would love to like not live on the streets.
This brings up a better question. How exactly does the grant help you?
So the grant for me specifically is almost completely a stipend. There's a portion of it that goes towards tools that I'm buying. But other than that, it goes completely towards my living expenses because I'm an out-of-state student, so I can't just go to my mom and dad's house and like drive here every day. It's important though to even just like take those opportunities, even if you can't get a grant, because it's still like experience if you can't afford to do that. And then after I did my project proposal and I got the grant, I started research here in like early June. And in between that, I also did go to some meetings because they have weekly meetings like even during the school year. So I went to some of those as well.
And what are these meetings for? Like, is it this research team?
Yes. So we have a research team of about 5 or 6 undergrad and PhD students, weekly meeting to go over how our research is going and for Dr. Grau to give us like feedback and advice on where to go from there.
I want to ask you about what's it been like working with such a diverse group of people, like people at different stages in their academic career.
Honestly, it's very intimidating when you see like, okay, I'm just like here like talking to people who know so much more than me and are so much further along in their journey than me, but everyone is very nice. Like it's never a thing of like people will demean you for like not knowing as much. It's just always a learning opportunity. You should spend a lot of time kind of figuring out how to study best. That was the biggest thing that helped me.
That's one thing that a lot of people don't actually know how to do is how to study, what techniques you can use and tools and whatnot.
Because you think like, okay, I've gotten this far, why do I need to switch what I'm doing now? But it can be such a useful tool to really study how to study. Because if you don't know how, like it's going to be hard for you to like retain the knowledge that you're learning.
So what methods have helped you study and maximize your learning capabilities?
What I usually do is when I'm reading through like a textbook or even just like doing practice problems or something, I will take note as if I'm the professor. What would I put in the text? And then I make sure to take really good notes on that. One of the biggest things that helped me is trying to teach it to someone else. I think that trying to teach it to someone else really puts into perspective how well you know something, and it forces you to really think about what you know about a topic.
That is all very fascinating.
Thank you for coming into my lab today. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
Bye.